Ukrainian forces are withdrawing from Kursk, a slice of Russian territory that they had occupied since last year. Ukraine had seized parts of the western Russian region in a surprise incursion and had hoped.
The Russian army is completing the liberation of the Kursk region, which the Ukrainian armed forces occupied. At the same time, according to reports from the Russian Defense Ministry, Telegram channels, and war correspondents, the enemy is attempting to flee the Russian region on foot, primarily in small groups, and relocate to the Sumy region. Armored vehicles and motor vehicles cannot move along the highway from Suja to the west because it is completely controlled by Russian intelligence. Drones, artillery, and aviation strikes by the Russian armed forces, including at night, halt any enemy movement. As a result, the enemy flees, abandoning both armored vehicles and guns, particularly towed ones, some of which are in perfect working order. Everything becomes trophies for our soldiers. According to the Telegram channel Northern Wind, after the liberation of Suja, fighters from the 30th Separate Motorized Rifle Brigade of the North Group of Forces of the Russian Armed Forces captured an American 155mm towed howitzer M777, also known as 3 Axes. Furthermore, according to the story of a serviceman with the call sign Fox, the Ukrainian crew simply abandoned the gun and fled the position. After receiving a free foreign trophy previously used by the Ukrainian armed forces, our soldiers moved the howitzer to the rear. Not only is the gun in good working order, but it is also combat ready. The enemy also dropped M777 shells at the positions. This information was provided by RIA Agency News. During the assault on a populated area near Suja, we discovered and captured a howitzer. During our evacuation from the firing point, the enemy did not resist. Earlier, Akhmat Special Forces captured a US-made M777 howitzer near Suja. The weapon is also fully serviceable and ready for immediate use. The video below, filmed by War Gonzo project correspondent Semyon Pegov, explains how this howitzer ended up in our hands. The Northerners now joke that after the Battle of Kursk, several brigades of Western military equipment could be formed in the Leningrad district. True, there could be a shortage of shells, but not of our caliber. However, if the enemy continues to retreat in this manner, abandoning everything, it will be possible to gather enough for several howitzers. However, the M777's barrels are notoriously unreliable, as Ukrainian artillerymen have complained. The arrival of the first UK-made M777 howitzer in Ukraine in the spring of 2022 was a turning point for the embattled country. It marked the slow transition of Ukraine's outgunned artillery corps, from outdated ex-Soviet guns and shells to the latest Western guns and shells. A 4.5-ton M777 can fire an unguided shell out to a distance of up to 19 miles. That's several miles farther than a 152mm ex-Soviet 2S3 can fire. In all, the Ukrainians have received around 200 M777s and used them all along the 800-mile front line. But their ubiquity exposes them to the full range of Russian counter-battery fire, and their importance makes them priority targets. In 37 months of hard fighting, culminating in the grinding battle in Kursk, the Ukrainians have lost at least 55 M777s. The gun the Russians captured while retaking the oblast may be the first intact M777 in Russian hands. In all, the Ukrainians lost around 500 vehicles and other heavy equipment in Kursk. Earlier, on February 25th, an elite Russian drone group, the Rubicon Center of Advanced Unmanned Systems, launched a devastating wave of attacks on the main supply lines supporting the Ukrainian garrison in Sudzha, the center of the Ukrainian-held salient in western Russia's Kursk Oblast. Employing what analyst Andrew Perpetua described as advanced drone tactics, including elaborate ambushes involving multiple explosive drones, striking the front, back, and sides of a vehicle almost simultaneously, Rubicon swiftly knocked out hundreds of Ukrainian vehicles. It was the day you started worrying about Kursk, Perpetua wrote. 2 weeks later, on Monday or Tuesday, the Ukrainian force, 10,000 troops in multiple heavy brigades, slipped out of Kursk. Starving for supplies and in danger of being cut off, the retreating Ukrainians moved quickly, apparently under the cover of darkness. Whatever heavy equipment they couldn't take with them, they simply abandoned, effectively leaving them for the Russians to seize. The prizes included some of the best vehicles and artillery belonging to some of Ukraine's best brigades. The 33-ton 10-person M2 may be the best fighting vehicle of the Russia-Ukraine war. With its balanced combination of mobility, protection, and firepower, thanks to its fast-firing 25mm autocannon. The Biden administration sent more than 300 Bradleys to Ukraine, and the Ukrainians distributed them to at least 631 vehicle battalions, including several with the 47th Mechanized Brigade. The units have fought hard on the offense and defense across Ukraine, and before this week, had written off at least 80 of their beloved Brads. The example captured in Kursk might be the 81st. Worse for the Ukrainians, no more Bradleys are coming unless the administration of US President Donald Trump pledges additional copies from US Army surplus. Considering that Trump temporarily halted all US aid to Ukraine following a disastrous February 28 press conference in the Oval Office, during which he and Vice President J.D. Vance absurdly berated Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky for being insufficiently grateful for the weapons and other aid Biden sent to Ukraine, including the M2s, those Ukrainian battalions shouldn't hold their breath.